What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and even in the face of a ton of pressure from the mainstream media and the blue checkmark brigade on Twitter, Netflix has stood very firm and been incredibly consistent about Dave Chappelle's Netflix special, The Closer, which is beloved by the vast majority of people out there, and it's only an extreme fringe minority of people who are offended by the things that Dave Chappelle said in his stand-up comedy routine. But now, on the eve of a walkout organized by trans activists that is going to happen at Netflix tomorrow, the CEO is starting to change his tune a little bit, and that should worry people. Now, they're still standing firm for now about leaving Dave Chappelle's special up there, but this is the first time we've seen this type of messaging from them. It seems like it's a little bit of an apology to try to satisfy the woke mob, and we all know that that will not work. These people will never be satisfied if you just give them a half-hearted apology or a full-hearted apology. They will never rest until they get their way, until you are done, until you are out of there. So they need to be very careful about their next few moves. And this came out tonight, just a couple hours ago from what I can tell. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos admits he, quote, screwed up over Dave Chappelle's memos on eve of planned staff walkout. And we do have the archive over here from Wall Street Journal. Shout out to Vera Dark for actually sending over this entire thing to me. I appreciate you. Netflix co-CEO says he, quote, screwed up when defending Dave Chappelle's special. I should have recognized the fact that a group of our employees was really hurting, Ted Sarandos says in interview. Netflix and co-chief executive Ted Sarandos said he, quote, screwed up in his efforts to communicate with employees who were upset over The Closer, a recent comedy special by Dave Chappelle in which he made remarks that some viewed as offensive to the transgender community. I do like the way the Wall Street Journal framed that. They didn't just say it's transphobic, it's racist, it's homophobic, like all these other trash sites are. They said what some viewed as offensive, so I do appreciate the wording there. In emails to the Netflix staff after the special's debut earlier this month, Mr. Sarandos defended The Closer, citing its popularity on the platform and the company's commitment to creative freedom. He also said the company believed, quote, content on screen doesn't directly translate to real-world harm. And what he was talking about there was violence. That was the context surrounding that. And yeah, he's right. He is correct about that. But he's kind of backpedaling a little bit now. In The Closer, which was released earlier this month and is currently among the most watched programs on the service, and in fact has a very high rating from its audience, Mr. Chappelle said, quote, gender is a fact. How offensive. Gender is a fact. How dare someone say that? And he identified as a, quote, TERF, an acronym that stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. He also compared the transgender community to people who wear blackface. Here is Sarandos backing everything back. And remember what he said. He came down and he said, listen, there's going to be people that try to get this off the platform. We will not do that. We're sorry that you think this is offensive, but we don't believe that it caused any harm to anyone. That's what they said. They were extremely firm, got a lot of support from people. And if they change their tune on that now, I'm telling you, the support that they have could quickly go away. People still remember cuties, right? People still remember that. This support that they have now for supporting Dave Chappelle and what he said, that could very quickly go away in a blink of an eye if they decide to completely bend the knee to these lunatics and actually pull this down. What I should have led with in those emails was humanity, Mr. Sarandos said in an interview Tuesday evening. I should have recognized the fact that a group of our employees was really hurting. You should recognize that a group of your employees are literally insane and will get offended about everything, just like Dave Chappelle pointed out. When he said that you can shoot a black man and nothing will happen, but you call a gay or trans person a name and everybody freaks out and you're canceled. He was right. He was being hyperbolic, but he's right. There's one specific group of people, even though a lot of people were made fun of in this special, who are lashing out and trying to get it pulled, trying to get Dave Chappelle canceled, and anyone who defends it canceled. We know who those people are. To say they're really hurting, I think is not accurate. I think they want to be really hurting. They want to be offended. They want to virtue signal about this. That's what I think the case is. Mr. Sarandos said his remarks on content not causing real-world harm was also an oversimplification and lacking in humanity. To be clear, storytelling has an impact in the real world, sometimes quite negative. A Netflix transgender employee group is encouraging all employees to take Wednesday off as a form of protest. Not just trans employees, all employees. So if you hear this number 1,000 Netflix employees, that doesn't mean they're all trans. It'd probably be statistically impossible. But it doesn't mean it's just trans employees walking out. It's all employees who stand with them. They got a group of D-list celebrities, and quite honestly, that's insulting to true D-list celebrities to call them that are going to do a PSA about this. It is peak cringe. But anyway, they're walking out as a form of protest against Netflix for their decision to continue to work with Chappelle and its reaction to their concerns. Mr. Sarandos, who is also Netflix chief content officer, said he isn't second-guessing the decision to carry the closer, nor are there plans to remove it from the streaming giant's platform. So that is also key. I think this is a very half-hearted attempt to appease the woke mob. By if I say, I'm sorry that I did this, I should have acknowledged how much you're hurting, it was a mistake to come off the way I did. They think that that will solve the problem. It won't. The problem is that they don't like that Dave Chappelle said those mean things to them, and they are going to continue to bitch and whine and moan about it until it gets pulled down. This is not going to stop them. This is not going to satiate them. This is not going to satisfy them. And until these people in these positions realize that and stop apologizing for things that need no apology in some effort to satisfy the woke mob, you have to understand that, or you'll continuously be in this process. We have articulated to our employees that we are going to do things you don't like, he said, but there are going to be things you might feel are harmful, but we're trying to entertain a world with varying tastes and varying sensibilities and various beliefs. And I think this special was consistent with that. That's what he said that really stirred them up, made them so angry. Nothing really to be angry about in that, other than somebody saying, listen, we're going to keep this up even if a couple people don't agree with it. Stand-up comedy is, quote, designed to stir up emotions, Mr. Sarando said. And while Netflix prides itself on having an inclusive staff and programming featuring a range of diverse voices, sometimes inclusion and artistic expression bump into each other. And that is true. And he says it later on. Netflix has spent an enormous amount of money creating content for and by the LGBTQ community and will continue to do so. Netflix has so much woke garbage on there, right? So much stuff on there from a variety of different groups. Like, you have these shows for trans people, by trans people. You have these gay shows. You have these lesbian shows. You have all this stuff, these queer shows. You have that shit on there. They even promote it a lot of the time. But that is not enough, because it's never enough to these SJWs, to these woke lunatics. And you can't use half measures and think it'll be effective. You can't even use full measures, because if they pulled it down, that wouldn't be enough. All the people associated with the decision would then have to be punished. I see them as bending the knee a little bit here. This half-hearted apology, I see it as bending the knee. It will not work. It will not stop the walkout. And you better hope you don't pull this down, because like I said, you will lose so much support that you've got from so many people over this scenario. What do you guys think will happen? The walkout is supposed to occur like, I don't know, 12 hours from when I'm recording this, 10 hours from when I'm recording this. You know we're going to talk about it. See what happens then. Will Netflix hold the line? Or are they going to bend the knee? This is an opportunity for them to plant their feet in the ground and not be bullied by a fringe minority of weirdos. That's really what we're talking about here. Just a couple people on Twitter. The vast majority of people support this. You have your couple trans employees that are protesting, that barged into meetings, that want to say, I'm not going to work here anymore. You have the people that are leaking information. These are not good people that will do these types of things. You cannot bend the knee to them. And I hope Netflix does the right thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.